right? Timbersaw, a Sven, a Pangolier. I still don't know if it's enough.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a problem. I'll be honest. I was asleep for the first 3 games of the broadcast, but I have no doubt that you guys just harped on Helm of the Overlord and how broken it is right now. I heard 33's interview, and he certainly agreed. So I won't harp on it too much more, but I will say I'm interested to see how 4DR handles this Pango mid. Because this is a hero that I love it. It's a bit of a specialty for me, and I don't know entirely how I feel about the changes. So I'll be interested to see what he does, because I've watched a couple different pros, and I feel like the skill builds and item builds are a little bit all over the place. Yeah, I think the changes to Shield Crash, like it's just a better spell when maxed out now. But I also like the idea that it's an on-demand disable now, because previously I feel like it felt bad to play and play against, because you were dependent on did you or did you not get a lucky shot proc. So in some areas of the game, IceFrog adds more RNG. These new neutral items are a whole other topic, better suited for a podcast. But in this case, it's removed. So it should have a decent matchup against the Lycan, but the Wolves do harass pretty hard. Yeah, I think that the one downside of Lucky Shot for Pango, from what I felt, is the fact that you can no longer initiate with your Swashbuckle. It basically takes that out of the pool entirely, which just feels kind of bad in my opinion. But as you said, Shield Crash is a much better spell, and very likely we're going to see it leveled up nice and early. We've got our bottom lane, which is going to be the Omni Knight Sven lane, which I've seen a number of times in the current patch. Kyle, I don't know about you, but it feels like with the buffed up Heavenly Grace, it doesn't take much. This ability was already strong. You give it a little bit more of a strength bonus, and the heroes like Sven are just going to be hitting so hard. Oh yeah, especially because the God Strength is based off of base damage. So it is one of the few damage amplifications that really buffs him up significantly. And it also provides the status boost. It's a natural Sanjanyasha builder. Sven's biggest issue is when you get kited, but that's pretty difficult if you're just getting spam graced. So I like the combination. I've enjoyed playing Sven. And I think the buffs put him in a much nicer place. The cast point change to the Q is just, it was really annoying to play, to be honest, but a slight change there. And with the nerfs to TA and Luna, I think Taiga.
How'd that happen?
Overstepped himself. He got body blocked perfectly by Mr. KJ, also known as King Jungles. Not bad. I'm gonna copy this build. We saw Fada do it in the previous series. The early Orb of Venom, spam Grace, hit people in the face. But I will say I'm still a big fan of Liquid's lineup, where they were talking about Leshrac on the panel. I really like the change. You know, Timber was an example of a hero that you felt bad having Max Edict against. Now with the pure damage, you're effectively just a spellcaster extraordinaire. You can all in against these really tanky strength heroes. And you don't care armor. And yeah, KJ, just easy heal. Thanks, JJ, for that excellent replay. I love the audio whenever the game slows down. That effect is always nice. We haven't talked about the top lane at all. It's a Timbersaw versus Ursa lane, which we've seen a number of times, but one side does have Wind Ranger and the other side has Chen. So I feel like Wind Ranger, pretty strong hero right now. I don't know how you feel about the Shard. It seems wild that they actually made it global. Yeah, I would agree. But hey, a little bit of a poke bottom, but nothing much. The top lane, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how Tavo skills. I actually think that the Timbersaw build, it's tough to go up against a hero like Ursa in lane now, just because you really want to have more points in W after the nerf, because the damage is the same. It's actually a better skill now because you don't accidentally miss, as they say so in the tooltip. But you need extra levels for it to catch up, because the early points were significantly nerfed. Same with the Q. Yeah, it's always a question in these matchups, like these Ursa matchups, any hero that you don't feel super good about standing toe-to-toe against, whether or not you're going to level up reactive armor a lot early, or if you're just going to try and nuke down the wave all the time with like higher levels of Timber Chain. So I'm expecting to just see him max that out, as you said. It's more valuable than it was before. He also doesn't have another hero to worry about, seeing as Insania is going to be playing Chen. We know exactly what Insania is about 90% of the time. This man is a stacking lord, and that's what he's going to be focused on, because he doesn't really need to help out Ursa too much. Mickey is fine in lane.
Yep. I'm glad to see this hero come back. I feel like every time, you know, it's out of the meta for almost 2 years, but as TI approaches, of course, Chen comes right back into the meta, and I think we'll see quite a lot of this hero, assuming there's no big changes to the way creep mechanics function. Solid laner. The healing and the aura provided, like, you just buy auras and walk towards your allies. The mech plus Hand of God is absolutely insane. And then, of course, the shard allowing you to get ancient creeps, which we've seen with the Helm of the Overlord. Like, they have such insanely good abilities. I still think that the Thunder Lizard with Triceratops, whatever it's called, is the best. 75 attack speed. Like, how is that even balanced?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's
100%
pretty good.
uptime.
We also saw the dragon be excellent at split pushing by being able to lay down that fireball, and then obviously that game with 33 just pushing down to tier 1, then a tier 2, then a tier 3. That was kind of bonkers, and let's hope that doesn't happen to SG here. As they're going to go for a gank at bottom lane. Theo4 is going to show up, but they lead off with a stun on Boxy, but there was nothing to follow up there. They couldn't get the angle on a shackle shot. Now they're sitting 3 heroes with a lane pushing into 2, not feeling great about their positioning.
This was a really interesting, Cap. He skipped Edict and went for the Lightning build. I have never seen this on an off-lane Leshrac. Like, I don't care the matchup. All matches I've ever seen on the previous patch in both pubs and professional, they were 2-4-0-1. Like, that was the build. And very surprising to me that we see the Lightning, but perhaps it's for this, right? Set up your own stunts.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go the Lightning Storm, it does mean you're trying to win the lane harder than normal. And they're not quite doing that because of the constant heals of the Omni. They're going to come back in with Theo4 and might just be able to save Costabile. They do. They get the kill on Boxy. Nicely played. Theo4 makes his re-entrance at a perfect time.
It's just very odd. We're going to have to see how that plays out. Because I love Leshrac. It's one of my favorites, if not my favorite hero. Haven't played it on the new patch yet, but it is very scary to me when I see Edict skipped, because that's just the no-brainer spell to max. So we're going to see how it plays out here for Boxy. He also goes for the double null, so maxing out on the spell amplification. We see a lot of mid and off laners starting to do this nowadays. A very value item. I think null's probably the best of the 3, much like Charmander.
That would be incorrect. That's definitely Bulbasaur, I believe. Theo4 turns around. They're going to catch Insania here. 40R was given the heads up by Theo4 and decided, okay, I can take this haste rune, pick up a free kill. It's not like Koifa is going to do much to pressure that mid tower. That is the advantage of them having the Pangos, that he can deal with the push that comes in with constant swashbuckle spam. So yet to see his opening just yet. KJ is going to be potentially run down here, trying to juke out the stun. Does manage to get out the Heavenly Grace before the stun, but it doesn't matter. The damage is too much, as Boxy, with 3 levels of Lightning Storm, is able to finish him off. Finally, the build does pay a small bit of dividends, but I think that what they were really hoping was to be able to push the Sven out of lane, and the Omni Knight prevented that entirely.
Yeah, and it's not as if Sven minds now. You know, he's got treads up, decent levels, rushing the Echo Saber Tiger, and a free courier kill. But, you know, Sven doesn't mind being forced into the jungle. Koifa, though, he does have his Helm of the Dominator already. We've seen a lot of offlane Lycan. 3-3 dominated the game, but it took him some time. And, yeah, I figured Koifa, a very fast timing, and the mid Lycan something we haven't seen very often, but it's one of his specialty heroes, has been since his time on Team Tinker. And this could be like an HOD2 by, like, I don't know, 15 minutes. Like, is that an auto win? Is it perhaps not as strong? We're gonna have to find out.
40R and Theo4 doing a really good job of pressuring mid, knowing that Koifa wants to be able to rotate to a side lane and make something happen, but they immediately just pounce on that opportunity, get a bunch of damage mid, force Koifa back. King Jungles is just trying to soak up experience here in this bottom lane, and he's kind of a hard hero to kill, especially with TPs now coming in. They're going to try and punish Taiga here. Taiga, he's got one roll to be able to get away from this, but he's got no room to do so.
Yeah, you can see Tavo, 4 points in the Timber Chain. Yeah, it's a tough matchup against the Ursa, but this is Timbersaw. You know, end of the day, you're going to push the lane. He's doing just fine with 46 CS, slightly behind, but I don't think you mind that at all. Considering Liquid picked a one-to-one hero to deal with you in the laning phase, did not seem to work out as well as they would have hoped. Tholicore a little low on levels here, but I think he's done a solid job just with his rotations, applying pressure where he can. But Koifa is the big problem. Level 9, top CS, now taking enemy triangle and closing in on the Vlads just 9.5 minutes in.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the same thing that I said to my pub last night. It's like these Timbersaw, the way you actually win the lane is just giving the Timbersaw as much solo experience as possible.
Yeah.
Whenever you
Leave me
can,
alone.
just let him get the reactive armor stacks up, let him get maxed out Timber Chain so he can just burst down waves and continue to farm. If you can be out of lane, you should do it. And Tholicore was very sacrificial in that regard. Spent most of his time messing around with Insania. Mid lane, they're gonna go for it, but 40R silence has faded. Oh, he thought the shield crash would get him to the other side of that cliff, but the gap is a bit too wide for him. Turns around, Costabile is going to be able to stun up Koifa. They won't be able to kill him, but they will relieve the pressure on this mid lane.
I'm surprised. Like, I can't believe they didn't just go for that, Cap. I don't know. You know, Insania and Taiga not level 6. They had Pango roll prepared. You know, 4 heroes there. I think they could have used the Rolling Thunder, but I suppose they'd rather save it, and now they can defend the Ancient Stack if Liquid look to invade. And looks like Costabile will take that no problem.
Yeah, he's going to have an Echo Saber pretty quickly. What do you think about the new Silver Edge, by the way? Because I feel like that's going to be an item that is going to be a hot topic, especially for, well, I was going to say Kunkka, but Kunkka's actually lost 6 times already in this tournament. Yeah. So maybe the hero's not as good as I thought it was.
I like it. I feel like the build-up really did need changing, and the 2 things that have been really tough to find nowadays, it first was regen reduction, but then Ice Frog and his Mercy gave us the changes to Scotty, to Shivas, and now it's not so bad, but we had no real way to get a break mechanic, and I think that was a big problem, because you really just didn't want to buy a Silver Edge, whereas now the build-up is a lot more tolerable. I think it makes a lot more sense, and there's also specific heroes that can be like, hey, this actually feels really good. This might even make us viable, like the Earthshaker core as an example. And I think it'll take a little bit of time to adjust, but I think it's going to get a lot more play now, and I think it's a really solid change.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. It feels like this patch may be about those 2 items, Silver Edge and obviously Helm of the Overlord. 40R going to be rolling around a little bit on Boxy and should be able to finish him off. He get the help of Tavo. Ooh, a long-range shot from Tholicore. Will manage to finish him off. 40R is in a bit of trouble. Has a shield crash. If he wants to get that damage reduction going, 18% is just enough for Taiga to give up on that. And it's actually going to be caught by the shackle shot before he could roll away. Great play so far by SG. Koifa's going to come in a little bit late here, trying to go for the Wind Ranger. That's going to be a hard kill to get, especially with King Jungles sticking around. He's going to find Tholicore for a little bit more damage. Might be able to finish him off, but again, it's just going to be a 4 position. Costabile from the other side, and Koifa gets knocked out. SG are here in force, bringing all 5 of their heroes to this bottom lane to win a big team fight.
Yeah, I gotta say, I love Costabile's item build too. I have yet to see many Svens skip Mask of Madness, but this seems like the perfect build for the situation. Just Echo, he picked up Lifesteal, shout out Ice Frog, neutral items, and now he's rushing Sanj. So the stacking status resist with the Omni Knight means he's gonna be nigh uncontrollable, and he can just run at Koifa. He can run at the Chen creeps. Like, you can't stand against the amount of damage he's able to output with God Strength up, and Liquid are gonna have a tough time trying to break this SG wall.
Yeah, I think that was what Synderen was talking about, right? Of whether or not they were going to get that wall set up to defend some of these pushes. This is twice now that Liquid has popped a shapeshift on Lycan and gotten nothing, or in this case, even lost something. I mean, getting a Wind Ranger kill, but losing your Lycan is a terrible exchange for Liquid. SG is doing a very good job. Now, the downside of that was Ursa has been left alone in this top lane for quite some time. Mickey solo took the off lane tower. So he is having a totally free game, but It just means he's barely keeping up with Sven, who always farms faster than you.
He does have the defusal timing, though. So Liquid, like, they would like to get things done. I think Koifa might be a bit overeager. Yeah, he was mid, but I actually think he still has to play like an offlaner. It's Boxy who kind of moves to more of a 2 position. Silence a bit late.
He did not expect Tavo to just keep walking forward, and as a result, a missed rolling boulder is going to miss the kill on Tavo and also reveal the timing of the diffuser blade. They're going to immediately smoke up, look for more. Boxy's right in the middle of everybody here. I guess he thought he was going to catch Tavo, but Tavo's not alone. And in fact, Liquid are probably going to learn, okay, SG, this is how they're going to be playing. They're going to be playing as 5-man constantly, because remember, they were 5-man bottom not so long ago. All of a sudden, they're just 5 the upper hemisphere now.
Yep, and avoiding the Lycan because they do not have the God Strength. Now it's back up, and ooh, wow, he's actually not going to go for SNY. It'll be a halberd on Costa Bile. Big fan of that. Very good against both Lycan and Ursa. They cannot afford an MKB for some time, and the active disarm quite nice as well. However, Koifa, HOD, level 2, 1441 in-game, and there's a Dragon Camp.
Oh, nice roll in here from Taiga. Theolacor immediately down. Taiga's going to give up his life for a pretty good initiation. Got a lot of team fight damage in. Costa Bile finding all of his mana being burned away, so he's not going to be too happy to keep this fight going. Tavo had different plans, though. Realized the error. He's going to jump out. Diffuser blade slowing him down. Can he get another one off? Uh-oh. He's going to be caught by this chain stun. Is that going to be enough burst damage for the Timber Chain? Easily it is, and a dominating kill streak being fed away. Mickey continues to grow larger and larger, and is going to look to try and do Roshan now with the Timber Saw down.
With the Dragon, this is going to be a very fast Roshan. The Wolf Creep to boot.
40R hoping to be able to slow things down. Does have his Rolling Thunder still up at the initiation first here from Taiga. Immediately goes for the silence, but the Heaven to Grace allows him to get out the Rolling Thunder just a tad too late. Farther down, Theolacor is going to be caught once again every single fight. He pops his wind run, but is unable to run away due to the constant inhibits coming from this Diffuser Blade and Liquid. As you were saying, they're going to come online. They're going to hit really, really hard. They get Roshan. They win a team fight. They win a second team fight. Now they've got the mid-tier 1 tower. All of a sudden, the game is snowballing.
Yeah, I mean, playing against this draft is sort of like loading up a game of Jumanji. The first couple of turns, easy challenges, no big deal. Robin Williams comes out. It's actually a help to you. Later on, the Rampage, the Stampede, there really isn't a damn thing you can do about it. And all of a sudden, I feel like you got to be concerned for SG. They're just stacking auras. Insania has the mech now, a medallion. He's got the Wolf Creep, plus 2 stuns. HOD level 2 is prepared. This is going to be very scary. SGE, I don't actually know if you can fight into Liquid with all cooldowns. Like, Ursa now with the Blink Aegis. This is very spooky, and you need to have the perfect initiation, or if they can venture a little lower, the DD rune. You got to grab that Coastal Bile, it'd be so big.
The drums of Jumanji and the war drums of Liquid continue to beat on as they are going to go for simultaneously pushing this bottom tier 2 and expecting SG to play the other side of the map. Look at this smoke. They're going to go and actually take a team fight with this Aegis, knowing that SG doesn't really want to fight back. Not into an Aegis like that, not against the Ursa that's leading the charge. Sven's going to try and TP to bottom lane. They're going to try and punish this move from Liquid that is very split, but at the same time, the Wind Ranger gets caught trying to TP to bottom lane, leaving Costa Bile by himself. Rolling Thunder is going to come in from 40R. He managed to sneak in from behind, and that'll get them the kill onto Insania. Koifa is going to come back into this one, though. Roll in, roll out. Taiga tries to catch back up, though, is going to be able to hit Costa Bile here. Now the Ursa on top of him. They're going to go ahead and pop that ultimate. They don't have an easy way to dispel it right now, but it can slow him down and wait for that timing to run itself out. Costa Bile is clear, but Liquid continue to win fights around the map. They won it top, they won it bottom. They've taken the tier 2. Real estate is going fast, Kyle, as it's very similar to LA right now. I can't seem to find a decent place for a decent cost anywhere.
Have you ever considered moving to Ukraine, Cap? Highly recommended. Look at the new territory taken, though, by Liquid. They grab the outpost. Mickey picks up yet another courier. Also, great silence there by Taiga. Hit a 4-man ulti into then the 4-man silence and pretty much ensured the Liquid would get away from there scot-free. And now the Crystallis will be for Costa Bile, so what will he be going? Perhaps just straight up Daedalus might be necessary. But the big concern is 40R. He's 2-0-8. He did very well in the lane, but his net worth has just fallen off, and I don't even know if he's really to blame. There's just not enough space for him. Timber and Sven vacuuming up creep waves. There's nothing left for him to scoop up.
Yeah, he's still waiting to get that timing where he's level 15 and he's got the Aghanim Scepter. I'm presuming with the change of the shield crash and just needing more lucky shot hits in general that he's going to go for the shield crash cooldown when you're in the ball form. But as you said, he's now nowhere really close to that timing. He's beginning to fall farther and farther down in the net worth chart, and it's beginning to feel like it's just going to be Sven. Is going to be the be-all, end-all of SG's team fight.
Yeah, him plus the Omni Knight. The GA still is a very nice counter to the Lycan ulti form. Does allow you to stand your ground. Taiga rolling forwards.
Taiga is fearless, man. I feel like he's been caught a couple of times. This time it's going to be stopping Tavo from being able to get away so easily. Heaven Grace, though, does ease some of those woes. He's going to try and sneak his way back.
Oh, the Quelling Blade.
Goes north, and Liquid lose him going south.
Nice job, Ed. Yes, SG Esports, the one issue right now is they don't have that hard catch. You know, Wind Ranger's their 4 position. He does have a Blink Dagger, but it's just now coming online, right? Taiga, he's been hunting all game. One of the better performances you'll see. He's 0-5, so perhaps he could play with a bit more fear, but I think he's done a great job. 5K gold lead for Liquid, even 5 kills down, just a demonstration of how powerful this draft is. They have so many towers right now, and they're looking to take more.
Dragon, very risk-free, pushing in the mid lane, and looks like they're going to try and catch Costa Bile here. King Jungles is ready for the counter initiation. Helps Costa Bile a bit, but it may cost him his life, as Koifa now knows the support is somewhere behind the Sven. He's going to catch up to him for a second, but it looks like ultimately they do not have the stuns available. Boxy wasn't quite in the area just yet. 40R TPing in, and SG Esports feeling like they can fight back here, especially with no Aegis on the Ursa. Oh, missed Timber Chain there from Tavo as he tries to catch up to Insania. Both sides looking for the free kill somewhere in the match, but Theolacor gets jumped on by Mickey. Nice stun going out from Boxy. He's trying to stall up Costa Bile as much as possible. The Heaven Grace doesn't give him much of a window to do so. Taiga gets bursted down, and now Mickey's going to be in trouble. Popsy in rage, but gets countered by the Yules. And Liquid do not have a save form. SG strike back. They say you hit your timing, Liquid, but this timing is now ours. You don't have Shapeshift. You do not have Aegis, and they're just going to sweep across the map trying to look for more heroes, missing just barely on the Lycan.
A nice timing. I mean, Liquid kind of whiffed that initiation. Once Shapeshift falls, they lost Aegis as well during the engage. Not much you can do. Shout out to Theolacor. I liked his laughter at the end because he missed both Shackles and his power shot, but just watched his team win the team fight anyway. That feels good. That's a Cinderin-esque performance. But, you know, you can see there, Mickey, he baited him, right? He got a solid E off. You're going to see the power shot. Woof. But still, kills collected. Really nice Yules there from Tavo, ensuring the kill on Mickey. And yeah, Liquid just not the engage they were looking for, and this is very much a tempo lineup. They want to be ahead, stay ahead, and all of a sudden Costa Bile, he's 5-0. He's got the Silver Edge complete, and he's 2K ahead of the game. This is a very scary hero, especially considering, you know, the Heavenly Grace, that's 38 strength, 38 damage. But when you get the God's strength on top of that, maxed out, that's 200%. That's now 38 times 3. Then you can crit for 160%.
Yeah, it's getting nasty. It is getting real nasty. 108, Kyle. 108.
Yeah, look.
Thank you to our lovely observer.
Trying to help educate the viewers. You can do the math yourselves.
Yes, kids, always do the math yourselves when Kyle's talking about it. You know, just double check him. You know, he isn't your math teacher. You know, you don't got to trust him. SG Yeah, as you said, looking pretty solid with Costa Bile now having that silver edge. He's being followed by a wolf right now. Koifa is always kind of one of the things he does is really well. Is always scouting well with the wolves. But yeah, Costa Bile is in a prime position just to hard carry this game for SG. And he has been classically one of those rock solid hard carry players coming out of South America for a long time, as I'm sure you have intimate experience with. Kyle's Costa Bile is going to get jumped on here. Uh-oh, maybe spoke a little bit too soon. Gets caught and bursted down 100-0. King Jungle's going to follow him as he was not able to get off any Heavenly Graces or Guardian Angels. So, okay, maybe there's some room for improvement.
Two critical components of that kill. One, a Capcaster Curse, well executed, but Taiga, a clutch silence, prevented the GA during the cast animation, so guaranteed kill on both of them. But man, what a kill to give up in this spot. You can't give these sorts of kills to a draft like Liquid. They are going to easily collect this tier 2. Could potentially even threaten tier 3 since they have the AC complete. Like this is their near peak strength. I also like Boxy. You see, this is something that I think this Edict change was meant to do. The Ags build suddenly becomes a lot more viable because you actually deal damage with Edict during Nihilism. They even get a ward up because he just walks in, Yule's in the air, but watch KJ. He's looking for it, and then whoop.
Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. Liquid are not going to keep up the momentum here. They're actually going to back up, and part of the reason why is because they don't want to throw away a bad team fight with potentially Roshan ever looming on the forefront here. As it is going to be another minute, but the smoke up from SG. If they still find the right kind of initiation here, they're going to go for Mickey. Trying to burst him out. The shackle doesn't land, and Mickey is now able to get off the enrage. There's still the ult scepter, though. Boxy, right in the middle of everybody, is going for King Jungles. King Jungles barely getting off the ultimate, and that is enough for Costa Bile to keep on trucking and kills the Ursa. But now with a buyback, they're in a nasty position. Costa Bile at half health needs to be able to find a way out of here. Drops the sentry. They're going to be able to spot him. Costa Bile turns and fights, knowing he's going to die soon. Does what damage he can. Tavo follows that up, but realizes, oh, turn around. This time the shackle does land. Tavo, a little bit of room here. If they can get a dieback here onto Mickey, it would be massive. Theolacour is going to try for it. 40R finishes him off with a shield crash. Nicely done. Tavo stays alive, and Theolacour now he is on fire. Several shackle shots landing in that team fight, just missing the crucial initiation one. But other than that, they managed to clean up the second half of the team fight and force a dieback on Mickey.
Yeah, but it's still a my bad moment there, Cap. You cannot miss these sorts of critical spells on stunned targets. This this whole opening, it's even overlapped, so too early as well. But Mickey pops the enrage. He actually bought back there and then died again. So consider his game over. Unfortunate. Second Roche has spawned.
Rest in peace, Mickey. I guess you don't get to play Dota anymore.
But Boxy, the one concern, I've made this point many times in my career. Why do you always skip ultimate level 2 on your Leshrac? Well, because even though it's 50 extra damage, it is twice the mana per second to keep it running. And Boxy, once out of mana, just not a threat. And if you look at Liquid's lineup, they just don't really have too much damage. Mickey had to buy back. Boxy, his mana gone, hero worthless. And with the BKB, he is able to free cast, but again, just needs mana to work with. And the damage reduction right now, 40R with the Aghanims. GA.
I'm with you on that, Kyle, but do you think Boxy, the way he's thinking about is he wants to be able to burst these heroes down as fast as possible? Like, he tried to go for King Jungles, right? If he had managed to burst him down before he gets off Guardian Angel, maybe that team fight's a bit different, right?
Yeah, that's a good point, and that is a really good point, because Liquid, you don't want long fights. You've got to shapeshift, and that's your timing to win. You've got to get a kill onto the Omni, because the later the fight goes, the more difficult it's going to be. These quick spells. The stun locks. Oh, man, no sentries.
Charging forward. Mickey is going to get the initiation onto King Jungles, but he had an Aeon Disc, so he's going to survive a little bit longer, but not much longer. No Guardian Angel in this team fight, still on cooldown. Costa Bile needed that one drastically as Boxy's just running him over with all this magic damage. And 40R, he's going to try and disengage with that. Okay, they do have the sentry down, so he's got to be careful here. He's looking to be able to dodge the stun, shield crash away. Tavo's going to be left behind, that's for certain. Theodore throws out one last shackle shot to prove, yeah, guys, I can hit these, I promise, but the fight is already lost, and Liquid very likely the recipients of the second Roshan and Aegis and Shard for them. No more cheese, which I'm a big fan of. Felt like that second Roshan. Oh, 4DR gets a little bit too close to the Roshan pit, is likely going to pay the price for it. It's just one of those things, you know, you can't contest Roshan. You don't need to go close to it, especially against Nurse Spirit, but 4DR makes that crucial error.
Yeah, it's just surprising that that fight went so poorly. You know, it's approaching a timing as well where Costa Bile, he skipped BKB for a long time, and you look at, he pops ulti immediately, Yules, and now he's just gonna get stunned and attacked, and inevitably he's gonna go down. The double dragon. I mean, Daenerys only needed one, and she conquered the Seven Kingdoms. You add 2 to the mix, plus that Golem thing. Like, now we're mixing lore, Harry Potter. It's just, it gets very confusing, and unfortunately for the Sven.
Golem is different than Gollum here. I thought you were up to snuff on your fantasy, Kyle.
No, I'm talking about the Giants. Because the Giants have stone skin, right? That's like the whole thing. Whatever, Cap. Come on, you're confusing the viewers at home now. Liquid,
okay.
The auras. The auras are the key. They have the Solar Crest on Insania. He's been doing a great job of either having Ice Ogres or Wolves, but of course, the Ancient creeps now, thanks to the Shard, so we can have 2 of them. The Granite Golem providing a 15% bonus HP to his whole draft. Like, SG, they just simply don't have these auras. They have no mech. They have no Solar Crest, no Vlads, no AC. I'm not going to do the math. They don't have Divine Favor either, but we're talking about nearly 20 armor disparity just because Liquid's standing together. Like, that is a near insurmountable amount of armor to recover against, especially if Sven is getting controlled as your primary source of damage.
You know what they do have, though, Kyle?
What's that?
They've got Gale Force.
Oh, I never watched
Time
Gundam.
to see. Yeah, I don't know if he used it in that last team fight, but I have never seen Gale Force against some of these faster heroes like Lycan. Is it actually going to do anything to stop him?
I don't know, but I'm like thinking, okay, do I want 20 armor or do I want strong winds? Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Metaphorically, but it certainly didn't look to be effective. It hit everybody in that last fight, but it's not helping his Sven. And Costa Bile, yeah, he swapped it up. He realized, you know, I'm not going for some satanic. Like, I actually just need BKB. Because if I'm not right-clicking this whole fight, my team isn't winning it.
Yeah, he probably neglected that at BKB for a little bit too long. I think he was just, like, trusting in Heavenly Grace entirely. But unfortunately for him, Boxy's got a Yule Scepter, and they've got a couple different ways to be able to kite out the Heavenly Grace, even if they don't get that opportunity. And King Jungle's having a hard time playing these team fights between both Boxy and Taiga, constantly hunting him down. So even with that Aeon Disc, he's not surviving long in these team fights.
Yep, and now the Nullifier on Koifa, so kiss GA goodbye. Gem on Insania, the auras are prepared. You see the Wolf Creep ready. Look at these heroes. Look at the auras. Look at this. It's unbelievable.
Roll it in, blink away though. Theodore breaking the smoke initiation from Team Liquid, and also making a read. There's probably some vision somewhere around. So he's got Nihilism now. Do you know if Nullifier affects ally debuffs?
I believe so.
Like, he's going to make them ethereal, and then they're going to get nullified. Idea. Are they actually going to go to regular form?
I haven't seen that interaction, but I think so. Because I think if going ethereal is still like a negative debuff, even if it's positively applied by your teammate. Or a positive buff, rather, even if it's applied negatively. And unfortunately, they didn't have a Ironborn Ballista that may have been enough to one-shot the dragon, but alas, Thullicor's arrows not quite enough, didn't hit the eyes. And I did the math. Liquid have plus 15 armor when all's said and done, even the casual buckler on Insania. Plus 21 if somebody's offensively solar crested. Plus the 450 Hand of God heal. Plus the 275 from mech. In addition to the 30% pack leader bonus aura. The 15% health increase. And of course, how much is it from Vlad's again? It is 15% lifesteal and 18% damage. So we talked about SG building a wall. They have built one of those things that knocks down castle walls, and Liquid looking to do just that as they knock on the base.
That's right. War ram it up. Tier 3 already popping the glyph. And looks like the Sven may have been caught. Oh, he doesn't have a TP. Oh no, Taiga. He just made a 1-for-1 trade to ensure there's going to be no Sven in this team fight. Boxy immediately going for King Jungle's not quite having enough damage though. They're going to start backing up a little bit. Rolling on in. There's the Gale Force with 4DR rolling in at the same time. They're trying to chase down the Leshrac, but he does have... Oh, the Aegis expired. They finish him off. He got very little regen out of that one. 4DR, apparently they didn't need the Sven. All they needed was the power of the winds, Kyle. The power of the winds. That's all they needed. Taiga is also going to be chased down for dead on the side of Team Liquid, and apparently SG Esports, they were ready for that siege. They had the hot oil ready to go, Kyle, to defend.
It felt like Boxy got caught. This is the danger of playing with Aegis. He was super aggressive, lost a ton of mana, half his health, and it felt like he was almost trying to die, but the timer got so low, it's like, oh, will I have time, will I not, whatever, and then just ends up dying 2 seconds after it expires after backing off. They used BKBs really early. Like, Sven wasn't even in that engagement, so I have no idea how it went so poorly for Liquid. No Taiga. It feels like he might just be the X factor. He did a great job there canceling the TP, but now backfires. Liquid, they may lose a Rax in response.
Oh, we got it. Koifa does manage to finish off that range barracks that just had a sliver of HP. The Wolves assassinate it with backdoor protection on. SG, though, they must succeed on this push because if the game just naturally resets, there was still a full lane of barracks taken by Liquid. Even though it was a valiant defense by SG, they did a great job considering the fact that Sven wasn't in the team fight. They still lost the lane of barracks. So they do need to try and stay on the offensive here and not let Liquid get back inside of their base again.
But it's getting a little spooky. There's no more auras to buy. The team fight doesn't get much stronger for Liquid.
Kyle, I love you, man.
What?
Just the like you were just going on and on about eloquently just listing off all the auras and how amazing this is, and it's so good, and then they lose a team fight and it's, well, there are no more auras to buy. So. Yeah,
I mean, it's dangerous. Like it's a great concept, but it's tough. Like, if you're pushing for valedictorian, if you run out of extra credit and you still don't have the grades, like what more can you really do to get yourself across the line? A pause comes out, 40R.
Phone battery. Oh, I'm assuming that his webcam is going through his phone. Is that why the phone is important?
It is, and I think that's a really good decision.
Nice of the players to make sure that they're helping us out with production, making sure everything's good.
Brand building. And let's see, BKB, yep, Satanic soon on the Sven. As we check out, are there any new neutral items equipped? We still have the Fey Grenade. What's that on Taiga? That's the Blast Rig. Yeah,
so we can roll in if they hit him. They'll actually, it's such a good item for initiators when you could just kind of go in. If you get hit, you apply a 100% miss percentage chance.
Well, what in the hell? Who came up with that one?
20 auras versus one Gaily boy. That's right. The power of the win is apparently greater than all of these auras. You shouldn't, you should
be fair
to Mother Nature like that, Kyle.
Yeah, and the last avatar was an airbender as well. So
that's true.
It is quite powerful. Mech next on Timbersaw. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. So you can see Boxy. I don't know what this man's doing because Aegis is about to fade and suddenly he's in no man's land. A ton of damage done by 40R and Tavo. Aegis fades and he's gone. Not ideal. Insania also, I don't think should be caught standing so far forward, but. Then Mickey kind of walks into the Sven. Tiger tries to save him, save a buddy syndrome, and suddenly you've lost 4. So even with the Rax, I still think it's a relatively even, if not SG favored trade.
Well, it looks like the win probability does back you here, as this game was heavily in Liquid's favor just before that last team fight, but now it looks like dead even, slightly SG favored even, and only a 2,000 net worth lead for Liquid. This kind of goes into what we were talking about for pretty much this whole game, is that like Sven is going to be quite the hard carry for Liquid to contend with, and they need to be able to end this game, you know, relatively early. Let's not try and go 60 minutes and see what happens against the Sven.
I really like that he went for the Warcry talents. A lot of Svens just to go, oh, attack speed, move speed, love it. But no, get the Warcry, a ton of plus armor, 25 to his whole team. So he combats the entire array of Liquid aura items with a simple press of his E button.
Wow, that's amazing, Kyle.
Unbelievable.
It's
what
just a
spell.
stronger version of an aura. You must love it.
Big fan.
All right, well,
The
we're
Thunder
once
Lizard.
again going to go into that dance around the Roshan pit that has been really standing the test of time of Dota 2, which is every meta comes down about these Roshan timings, and especially since Roshan has been given more and more to hold on to, makes this one team fight all the more important. We've got a minute here until Roshan does actually spawn. Neither team knows that, of course, and that's why Liquid is going to go on the offensive,
Dangerous.
and SG is going to try and hold this high ground.
Don't walk up the high ground with no vision, Liquid. You should know the song.
They're going to try for it, though. They're going to go straight up initiation. The Wolves, they spotted out something, and they went immediately all in on that. 40R was the initiation, but King Jungles does manage to get off his ult. There goes the Gale Force trying to push these heroes away from Costa Bile. Costa Bile trying to decide whether he's going to fight or whether he's going to run. It looks like he doesn't have a choice in the matter. He has to turn around and fight, but Mickey is so hard for him to be able to put any damage onto. Costa Bile is having a hard time here, while the rest of his team is just being run down. 40R does manage to strike back, killing Taiga. Boxy just now activating his BKB and is in maybe a little too deep. Spider legs away. Costa Bile not expecting that one. Boxy full on movement speed out of here. Can he get far enough away, though? Tavo still able to run down. It looks like Insania. They're going to catch up to Boxy here. Boxy, what? Okay, still managed to catch him. I thought that shackle shot didn't land, but they still managed to catch him either way. And SG, they are going to be the victors of that initial team fight. Let's see whether or not Liquid wants to buy back to try and defend this Roshan, though.
Yeah, Liquid, they made a good catch there. 40R was the one initially pressured. Unfortunately, he got stuck on the cliff, Cap, and half his Rolling Thunder was squandered. And also got it off late because of the big silence. So maybe Liquid finding something here. The Pangolier was instrumental in the high ground defense, so perhaps that's going to be the target that they continue to gun for first. Arcane
Liquid just
now.
all in it. They buy back, go straight for Roshan, because they know with no God's strength, really hard for SG to fight. So they say, okay, we're going to invest these buybacks into guaranteeing we get this Roshan. Now they have an Aegis.
Who do they give the Aghanims to?
I would love to see Lycan. Oh, he already has an Aghanim Scepter. Okay.
No, he doesn't. Wait.
So we're going to have
that's the one from
a
Roche.
wolf bear. Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, did we? Oh, okay, okay.
He gave it to the Ursa. I like that because now you can pop and rage even when you're disabled. So it'll be tough, well, tougher for this Sven to try and take him down.
You don't want to see a wolf bear, though?
I wanted to see a wolf bear. You know me, Cap. I've spent my entire life looking for man, bear, pig, but a wolf bear is close enough. Bottom lane, Liquid, probably not their last chance, but you got to figure they need to close it out here. I don't think their draft will get much more powerful. Tier 4 items, though, have they collected all of them? Doesn't look that way. Maybe they want to farm them up first. That was their first.
No. Well, Liquid has all 5.
Oh, it's...
SG, they've only
They
got
just
one.
got one. Oof.
Yeah, so stuck inside their base, unable to get those neutral items. And that's kind of what Liquid want to keep going here, is SG just being kind of locked out of the game.
Well,
eventually go for a high ground push with the Aegis.
Are you surprised 40R still doesn't have a shard 40 minutes into the game? I was talking with Sind about how he just thinks that's a busted ability, like just an OP shard, especially in this kind of game where he could just preemptively use it or pop it right as he comes down from Yules. There's no cast point.
I actually think it's fine, mostly because if you look at the disables in this game, if he gets rolled on or silenced, like he's very likely not getting roll up on that because they're near instant disables. And then Yules into Split Earth, you can always swashbuckle away from that. You'll get hit by the stun, but you will always dash away. So I could see his logic there, basically being one of these initiators I can't do anything about. The other one I do have some options. So maybe it's not worth the 1,400 gold and the delay of getting some of his later game items, because he did really need that Aghanim Scepter Maelstrom. He's going to go back for it now. Now that he's full up slotted, he's got six slots. So
yeah, it's at this point it's just like the damage increase as well, just for the extra time in the Rolling Thunder.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We'll see. Tavo's
potentially keeping a hero chain stunned is all important.
The concern I have though, Boxy's net worth just not where you would hope. I mean, Mickey and Koif are taking up a ton of space, but I think you'd feel more comfortable as Liquid if Leshrac and Lycan actually swapped their net worth positions. Because I think Lycan really peaks with Helm of the Overlord, AC. You know, the BKB nullifier is nice, but it's those two items that really give him his power.
Yeah, when it comes to team fights anyway. But at the same time, Liquid could just try and rat some of this game with the Lycan having this much net worth, and just like they take a team fight while Lycan goes and tries to push out bottom. Missed roll. Goes to Bile, able to jump away to the side here. Still going to be caught by Yule Scepter into the stun. Immediately pops the BKB though. The Gale Force trying to push away some heroes. Taiga, no, they don't even try with that BKB to try and kill Taiga. I thought surely Costa Bile was going to use that BKB for something, but sadly it was just to stop the initiation and delay.
They watched
Liquid taking a fight.
They watched the Jenkins video, Cap. The name of the game is Defense of the Ancient, and right now SG, they recognize Liquid are very hesitant to kind of walk up this hill. As soon as they enter a choke point, they start to get slaughtered by the Timber Saw, by the Pango, the cleave damage. So I don't think you need to be exiting your base. As I say that, of course, they run outside the base.
Yeah, and immediately go for Taiga. Jackal shot into a chain stun. A free pick off for them. It did cost them a use of God's Strength, though. Something that Liquid saw. But then again, at the same time, Liquid doesn't have Shapeshift for a bit.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. That's probably why you make that move.
They almost have level 25 on the Sven, so he's going to get a significant damage upgrade if he goes for the God Strength damage.
Let's see, they're gunning for it. God Strength is fading. Liquid get an idea that something might be coming towards them. They back off. And yeah, when it's 4-on-5 and you suddenly realize, hey, guys, none of the enemy heroes are showing in lanes. It's time to get the hell out of dodge. And it's now Liquid's turn to wait at the entrance to their base. Witchbane. This is another one of those weird items that's either incredibly OP or somewhat worthless with the AoE Dispel. And no one really that is threatened by the max mana damage. But AoE Dispel could be, is it really? It's good against GA.
Well, I mean, surely the 4% is good against Leshrac, right?
Oh,
he gets hit by the swashbuckle, 4%, boom, 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 boom. Yeah.
That's a good point.
I mean, I'm sure Liquid would have loved to have that for an AoE purge against Omni Knight.
And it's also an AoE Dispel of the Nihilism and the Earth Spirit Silence. That's actually I take everything I said back now that I realize it's SG. That's insane. Somebody's going to take that, right?
Well, Pango's holding on to it, at least was.
He swapped it out for the Timeless Relic. I would imagine it's going to go to Tavo, who only has the Essence Ring right now. And a Flicker even. Oh, my goodness. That is the bane of Earth Spirit. Suddenly the silence is just negated completely, but somebody's got to take the Witchbane. Somebody. Anywhere. Nobody.
I feel like if anybody was going to take it, it's got to be Pango for the passive effect against Leshrac. But then other than, do you really think the AoE Dispel is worth having just for that activated versus other things that are going to make you, give you actual stats?
Well, I suppose not.
Healing salves littering the ground up here. As the Wolf is going to be able to spot Timbersaw. They're going to try and burst him down nice and quick with a Shackle Shot immediately going out. Mickey pops is enraged to be able to deal with that one, but the Rolling Thunder on through. BKB activated. They're going for this Timbersaw, but they're not quite killing him fast enough. And now with a 40-yard managing into bash on a Mickey, that delays out his BKB long enough to be able to get the kill. As here comes Costa Bile. They do manage to get off the Nihilism. Ooh, that's doing some pretty work until it quickly gets dispelled off by the Heaven the Grace, and Costa Bile is able to put some work in. He turns around, but unfortunately gets done for a second there. Breaks up the last Shrek 40-yard. Oh, he's got to keep the distance, but he can't quite get it. Taiga trying to get out the silence, gets out the stun. They're going to kite out Costa Bile to his death. They buy back on several heroes here, and they will manage to at least clean up Boxy, who bought back earlier. If they can catch Koifa as well, this might just be SG's opportunity to be able to end the game here. As Theo Lacour trying to stay ahead of this Koifa. Gale Force pushing back Taiga enough for Taibo to come in and clean up the double kill. And SG are now going to be able to take a potential 4 versus 3, even 5 versus 3 if King Jungle wants to buy back.
The buyback's just coming up off cooldown, like just now, and they all have buyback on Team Liquid now. So they may just rock it, and there's 3. So SG may look to push in, but it's going to be a little scary. No buyback now on any of the cores of SG. So one of them goes down, a huge window opens for Liquid to try and end the game. And they don't want to use Mickey's, but I bet Taiga will time his for the respawn of the bear.
Seems like both Liquid and SG did a good job, better job than I did, of keeping track of those buyback timings. SG not going to keep going, knowing that they do still have more buybacks left on Liquid, and Liquid at the same time were able to hold because of that timing on the team fight.
Yeah, but that's enormous.
Now, once again, we're a dead even game again, Kyle.
Indeed we are. I wanted to shout out Boxy. Unfortunately, he had died there, but a great Stormcrafter to survive for just a little bit longer. Rapier now picked up on Costa Bile. No buyback. You got to do what you got to do, but I am shocked he had the gold for that. That concerns me a little bit. When I see a core he just bought back, still had money for a Rapier. Like, how much are we really saving for retirement here on Costa Bile? But either way, they're going to move forward.
Successful scan. They're going to catch up to Boxy potentially. Oh, looks like he is away home free. Liquid. Good read there. Being able to get the successful scan on SG, knowing that the smoke gank was coming as a result. And they're actually, looks like they're going to go for a smoke themselves and go and try and take over the other side of the map. Do they have a smoke? Oh, maybe they just don't have a smoke. They're just going to make a 5-man move here that is probably outside of vision. I mean, look at that. Look at how careful they're being here, Kyle. They're really going to make sure that they are not going to be spotted making this maneuver because they're making it without a smoke.
I like it. There's a very limited chance that SG will have placed any wards throughout that lane. You see them draw the circle, and they're going to continue to take the wide loop around. And this isn't surprising. Insania did spend a lot of time playing PUBG, so he has experience on the edges of the safe zone, but then they show on the creep wave.
Boxy Stormcrafter aggroed the creep wave. And now, SG certainly knows something's going on the left-hand side of the map.
Do they just go for base, though, Cat? Box is going to push the wave. Do you just ignore Roche and go for the throne if you're Liquid? Force SG
maybe they
back
feel like
to base?
they can't win team fights anymore, so they got to just rat it out.
You can see they're going to glyph. I think they're thinking about it.
Mickey, got to be a bit careful here. Showing, killing a courier. Is Koifa, I'm sure he's thinking about like whether or not he can actually go for a high ground push himself, how much damage he could do, how much chaos he could ensue. Is SG not going to give up on this push? They're going to keep up this 5-man and start once again poking away at that mid-tier 3 tower. Roshan did just spawn, and Liquid are going to try and sneak it here.
Got good
Lacour, he's going to spot it out, though. Power shot quickly reveals Roshan's HP, and SG starts setting up for what could be the last team fight of Game 1.
Mickey has buyback, so he's baiting.
Oh, Gale Force trying to push Mickey outside of the pit. Doesn't quite get him. Tavo Timber chaining all the way through. They're going to go for Mick A, try and chain set him up here. The Rolling Thunder keeps him stalled a little bit. The BKB and the Enrage both being popped for Mick A and not getting a kill out of it, and at least not yet. Trying to go for the Liqueur, couldn't quite get it. Now his Enrage is down, now his BKB is down, and now he's down. He's going to have to buy back for this one, and it's going to be up to Koipa and Boxy to deliver the damage to be able to bring down Costa Bile. They try and kite him out before DR. He's there on the other side to make sure Boxy falls, catching up Insania. Mick A's back. Looks like they're going to try and resettle on the high ground here, but Tavo just does not give up. Chases down these heroes, and now Liquid is left with 2 heroes with no buyback and potentially a throw. He can't fight the winds. They're too strong. They drag him back into the clutches of SG as they find a 3rd and 4th kill to be able to finish off that team fight and very likely finish off this game with 2 of their cores having no buyback and being dead for over a minute and a half. SG should have free reign of the Dire base now.
Yep, they're going to walk forwards, straight for the throne. No Roche, no Rax needed, and it's 2 on 5. We've seen some pretty insane base defenses from Liquid in the past, but this one, this is a tough ask.
Oh, he tried to jump out of King Jungles, but King Jungles was a little bit faster. Managed to blink himself away first. Now the Enrage. They're just ignoring Mickey. Gale Force pushing him away. They're trying to decide whether or not they're going to fight. And yeah, Costa Bila's like, okay, let's go ahead and clean up this hero. GG is going to be caught by Insani because he knows it's out of Mickey's hands, or paws in this case, as Liquid are going to lose game 1 here against SG. SG, the wall